Now by phone, President Donald Trump. Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hi, Katie.
Great to hear from you. So, of course, you are friends with Tiger Woods. You spent a lot of time with him. And when you hear anybody's in an accident, it's a horrific thing to witness, but especially someone that you know. And we're all happy that he's okay. And how did you react when you first heard the news this morning?
Well, I was really surprised. And, he's doing so well. He's getting the back in shape, and then a thing like this happens. He's had a big problem, as you know, with his back for a long period of time, and it's amazing. He won the Masters, and he won the Masters with a bad back, which tells you the level of talent is incredible. And he's been working on that, and then he has this happen. It's just tragic.
You know, Mr. President, you awarded the Medal of Freedom to Tiger Woods in 2019. Let's listen to what you had to say about him then, and then we'll get your thoughts on the other side.
In the presence of a true legend. In the presence of a true legend, an extraordinary athlete who has transformed golf and achieved new levels of dominance. He's also a great person. He's a great guy. Tiger introduced countless new people to the sport of golf from every background and from every walk of life. He inspired millions of young Americans with his thrilling wire-to-wire victories. Tiger Woods is a global symbol of American excellence, devotion, and drive.
And in that speech, you also talked about how he's a comeback kid and how he's been able to overcome a number of obstacles. So maybe we'll see him back out on the golf course after this.
Well, I hope so. He's overcome a lot, but he's had an incredible life, and he's going to continue to have an incredible life. But now he'll recover from this. It's pretty bad on the legs, I understand, and he'll figure a way. But he's a wonderful person. Aside from everything else, he's a wonderful person.
So you've spent time with him on the golf course. Tell us about your experience with him, your friendship, how you got to know him.
I just have over the years. I've known him for a long time, and he was just always great to me, and I've always felt the same with him. I've always just liked him. We had a good chemistry and always have, and I'm just, I'm a fan of his, and as a golfer, he's just incredible. Him and Jack and a few others are, very, very unique people. And Tiger was really, he was intent on just getting it back to where it was, and then a thing like this happens. And he would be able to do it. Don't forget, he won the Masters, and when he won the Masters, people were not expecting that because he was just getting better from the back. The back was a big problem, and the talent is so great that he was able to win the Masters with a back that is very tender, to put it mildly, to put it nicely. But that shows you the level of talent that he has. You beat a field like that, and you're not 100%. He's an incredible guy.
You talk about his talent. He was the fourth golfer to receive the Medal of Freedom. I remember that day when you were in the Rose Garden with him. He thanked his family. He talked about the things that he's been able to overcome with the support. Tell us about that day and what he had in mind for the next 2 years and where he wanted to go with the sport.
Right. Well, because it was Tiger, everybody wanted to be there. Everyone went crazy. Tiger's Tiger, and everybody just wanted to be there. It was a big event, and he considered this one of the great honors of his life. And he's won, all of these majors and all of the tournaments. I guess he's second in tournaments, and in the majors he's at 15. That's a lot of majors. And it was an exciting day. It was a beautiful day. It was so good in so many ways, and he made a lot of progress from that day, and then this has to happen. He's a very respected person. He's so respected by the other players. They idolize him. And he's going to be back. I have no doubt about it. He's going to be back.
Yeah, he definitely has made comebacks before, and I think, you hear people talking about him today, and you see his mentorship to his kids. He's working with a number of people who want to learn how to golf. Mr. President and, of course, Tiger Woods are much better golfers than I am. I'm the person on the course who's telling the people behind me to please go ahead so they don't get frustrated. I take the latest tee time possible so there are not people waiting behind me. So I would love to take a golf lesson from Tiger Woods, and I agree. I think that he certainly is capable of making a comeback, and it sounds like, based on his history, he'd be willing to do something like that.
No, he knows how to do it, and I have no doubt. And he's just he's a very respected person. And Katie, he's going to be back. I don't know if he'll give you a lesson or not, but if he does, you can't get a better one, right? but he will be there. You watch, he'll be there. This was very tragic. I got in today, and I, they immediately told me about it, and you turn on television and you see that's all they're covering now. They're just, there's something very unique and very special about Tiger.
Yeah, and he did an interview last weekend. He was asked about the Masters coming up in 7 weeks, and he was asked whether he was going to be there, and of course, referring to his back injury, as you did.
Right.
And he said, I hope to God that I'm going to be there. He's working on it, said it was a matter of what his physical trainers and doctors were saying to him, whether he could make it. And now this has happened. It's devastating for anybody, but especially for an athlete. So do you have any other?
He would have been there, too. I'll bet you he would have been there, too. He was, and when he says that, he means he's going to be there. But now this comes up, and that's terrible.
Yeah. Well, Mr. President, when you were playing golf with him, did he give you tips? Did he give you a few pointers out there on the green?
Yeah, he always does. I always like it, If you can't take tips from Tiger, you can't take them from anyone. And, he's in a very rare class with Jack. I mean, Jack is 18 majors, and Tiger's 15 majors. And Tiger's got, I guess, 82 wins, which is tremendous. I mean, it's so unique to see that many. I guess he's tied with Sam Snead, and that's a long time ago. That's a lot of. So one more tournament, he'd be number one in terms of the tournaments won. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of great records that he has, and he's got some records for scoring and putting, and a great putter. I always said, Tiger, were you always a great putter? He said, always a great putter. It was natural. It's just very natural, and a lot of people say putting is natural, but it was always very natural for him. But just a great person, most importantly. He's going to be, I think he's going to be fine. He's going to make sure that he's fine. And
if he's watching tonight, what would you want to say to him and have him here?
Well, all I say to him is get better and get out there, because we all miss him. We need Tiger. When Tiger goes on a show, when he's in contention, which is often, the ratings are double and triple. And it's very few people that cause that kind of a phenomena. But the ratings are double and triple. I've seen it many times. It's like the ratings go up like 2 or 3 times from what they were the year before, when he wasn't competing or when he wasn't, in that final. He doesn't even have to be leading. If he's anywhere near the lead, the television ratings for golf go through the roof. So, it's he's a very important guy in many ways.
Well, we certainly hope that he has a full and speedy recovery and is back on the golf course. We appreciate you sharing your perspective as a friend and as someone who has gotten to know him over the years. Thank you, Mr. President, for coming on tonight.
Thank you very much, Katie.
Thank you.
See you soon.
And Fox News headlines, 24/7 sports and entertainment reporter. Mike, good to see you this morning. Look, when you talk about Tiger Woods, you talk about the ups and downs, the fall from grace he's had more than once over the course of his life. But you also talk about how he has been able to come back in incredible ways. 15 majors he's won. 3 away from tying Jack Nicklaus. You talk about 2019 winning the Masters in Augusta. Nobody thought he could do it. He is a legend when it comes to golf. There is no doubt about it, Mike.
Well, you think Ali, Ruth, Jordan, Tiger. These are the types of legends that in the sports world transcend just being involved in sports. It doesn't matter what nation or country you're from. He transcended to a global phenomenon that was Tiger Woods. He's identified by just the name Tiger himself. Now, of course, you mentioned the sports accomplishments, and he's right there. 82 PGA Tour career victories, tied for first of all time. Being able to come back from physical, personal, substance issues throughout the years, throughout his whole entire career, and still being able to win. And that's what I think was so devastating about yesterday was we've seen him come back time and time again, and then you hear about a significant car crash. It's like your heart stops. I don't know about you guys, but I immediately thought once those first initial reports came through, I was like, Kobe.
Exactly.
Because it happened in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
It was just about a year ago that Kobe did pass away at the end of January. And I was like, oh, my God.
Well, when you saw these images of the
luckily,
car, just devastating.
Yeah.
You mentioned the
Yes.
physical. Let's go through the Tiger Woods injury timeline. Just the surgeries, Mike. We didn't have enough space or time to go through all of his injuries. And quite frankly, I don't have time to go through all the surgeries. We're going to roll it on the screen here. The point being, this guy has been through a lot physically. And with the high-performance athletic nature of the game today, do Tiger's injuries mean he is done competing at the highest level of the sport? Because, Mike, as you know, this isn't 30 years ago when guys like you and me with our bodies, you know, the dad bod, no offense, could compete in the sport. Now these guys are finely tuned. These guys are at the peak of physical performance.
Well, but he
hitting the
changed
ball
that.
a lot.
He changed the athleticism in
so
golf.
Will he be able to make it in the game today?
Well, we found out overnight the Tiger Woods team releasing a statement, and essentially, without getting into all the medical terms, the bones below his knee essentially got pulverized, and there's multiple breaks, open fracture, or compound fracture. Without getting too graphic, is when the bone goes outside of the skin, and essentially the leg below the knee is just crushed and smashed in multiple places. They have metal rod in it. They got pins and screws in it, so it's going to be a long recovery. Reports are that he'll probably need additional surgeries, but if anybody can come back from this, it is Tiger, because with sports and athletes, some of them have what we call the killer mentality. Okay, Ali had it, Kobe had it, where, you know, even in practice or just friendly games, they always wanted to win. And that's something you don't teach. It's just an innate ability that some athletes have, like Tiger. He's been able to come back in the past, but this time, the physical and serious nature of these injuries, I do not know if we see Tiger in a highly competitive nature, and I don't think anybody can say that because he has a long path to recovery after this. I mean,
And we just don't know, you know, obviously we have that statement that was released overnight, but we don't know the exact ins and outs of what he's going to be facing in the upcoming weeks and months with this recovery. But just to bring another perspective here in this, you know, you talk about how he's got that instinct inside of him to want to get out there and play, and it has been amazing for the sport of golf. I mean, I love golf. I'm not that good, though. But, you know, it really does give you so much positivity, so much inspiration to watch him be able to come back. But you know what else does? Is watching him with his son, Charlie. And I just wonder if he's at the point in his life where he's able to teach his son golf. If he can get back to a physical capability to be able to enjoy life and do that, Mike, do you think that might be enough for him now?
I mean, it's a situation like this where it's like, wow, he's lucky to be alive. Authorities said Tiger Woods is lucky to be alive. Maybe he does take a step back and is like, maybe my golf career is over. At least I still have my family. And you're right, because you talk Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is golf, all right? Tiger Woods took golf from a niche sport into inspiring a whole generation of children out there. Tiger Woods made golf cool. It used to be just a niche sport that was like, oh, okay, like maybe you were born into it or what, wealthy people played it, etc. Tiger Woods inspired a whole generation of golfers. That when he had that red shirt on Sundays, it was game time. It was let's go. And he loved his family, obviously with his father. We've learned about that throughout the years, and also his children. That we fingers crossed that he does return, because we don't want to see. We want to be able to give him the proper farewell and send off. But if not, at least hopefully, you know, he'll be able to teach his children the game of golf.
Mike Gunzelman getting up early for us. Mike, thank you.
Pictures of him and Charlie, just awesome.
Stuff.
All right, thanks, Mike.